Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm David.
Welcome to The Average Vegans, a podcast to help you live an attainable vegan lifestyle. We're not the ripped influencer vegans you hear about in other podcasts. We're just some ordinary people living in the South, eating plants and loving animals.
And on this episode, we're discussing how being vegan changes the way you experience things. All the things.
Sounds so broad.
It's always good to be broad in an episode so you can just kind of go wherever you want to talk about things.
And we probably will go wherever we want, as we normally do.
Proper nouns. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna put like space music behind that. We're going to things. I wonder if I can do a Carl Sagan voice. We are going to talk about how vegan changes things. That's my Carl Sagan.
Oh God.
Okay,
wow.
I'm sorry. You know me. I derail the whole show.
That was a gift. That
really
was a gift.
Billions and billions. All right.
It's ridiculous.
That's what I do, man.
Oh my gosh.
Make them
So
laugh,
how being vegan changes the way you experience things. Yes, it sounds very, very broad. Very broad. But we have some specifics that we were discussing earlier that I think might pertain to a lot of people. And I kind of want to hear other people's point of view. So I'm going to do the little segment where I say, email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com or message us.
Post on our Facebook page.
At The Average Vegans. Yes, that too. Because we want to hear what you, how being vegan has changed the way you experience things. And you'll probably think of things as we're talking, because this was kind of an interesting topic to really dive into.
It really is.
I think the major way it affects the way you experience things comes with entertainment. And that can be a lot of things, but first thing I think of is like TV and movies.
Right.
It does. Things pop up that maybe.
Like your neighbor bought a brand new red car, and now all you see is red cars, and like, oh my God, there's so many red cars. And so now that you kind of opened your mind and kind of woken up to cruelty and how bad that is, which I don't know why you had to be woken up to that. It kind of seems kind of obvious. You do start seeing it to the point where you're like, all right, you're fast forwarding through things. You're like, I'm not going to watch this show anymore. I don't want to see that movie.
Yeah, and there are definitely some examples that come to mind immediately. For example, this episode of Ink Master made me cry.
Did I see that episode? Yeah.
And I feel like it was pretty soon after, I was within the first year possibly of when I went vegan. On this episode of Ink Masters, they used the carcasses of pigs to tattoo on because their skin is very similar to human beings' skins. But I have seen them tattoo on like a piece of pig flesh.
Yeah.
But in this episode, they had entire pigs. And everyone had their own one to tattoo on. So I just started bawling. And I had to fast forward through the whole section. I couldn't do it. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, they have synthetic stuff now, but that's why when I see that I'm like, why? You don't have to do that anymore.
And it almost feels like they did it for the shock value of having a bunch of dead animals on the stage, I guess. I mean, I guess Dave Navarro, you'd think he might be a little more vegan friendly, but apparently not. He does wear a lot of leather, so I guess not.
Guess not. Yeah, it's.
I feel like he would be more sympathetic. So that episode was rough.
Yeah, I'm sure it's mostly for shock value.
And
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I never probably would have been as freaked out by it before. I mean, I would have been shocked by seeing the whole dead pig, a bunch of them, but I don't think it would have made me bawl before, like you said, my little vegan awakening.
Yeah. I I don't think I never had like
So
I never like been all teary eyed. I mostly usually I'm like nope nope cover the eyes,
right,
la la la
right.
la la kind of a thing. Cause like I don't know. Okay, I don't need to. Even if it's like if it was like like if the dog dies, we riot. I'm like if any animal gets hurt, I'm gonna hurt. I'm just gonna become a murderer. I'm gonna take everybody out. Like they're
Understandable.
animals are innocent, but you know what you did.
Exactly. So another one would be like Naked and Afraid.
I never
My
saw that.
husband loves this show.
Oh,
I am not a big fan because I find it
I know what that is.
super weird. When are you ever going to be naked in the wild? But whatever.
Well, I
Whatever.
mean, I judge
But
nobody.
they kill animals to
I
no, if
mean,
that's your thing, go
hey,
for
man,
it.
I
But
ain't no
they
king
kill
shame around here.
animals to sustain themselves for the 21 days or whatever they're in the wild. And I always yell at the TV and have to like leave because I'm like, it's unnecessary. And I just like leave because if you didn't have this dumbass show, these poor animals wouldn't be killed and you wouldn't be in their environment cutting down their fucking trees. I'm sorry, bad words. Cutting down their trees
It's
and
explicit. We're
just
good.
it makes me angry. That one makes me mad. So Ink Master made me cry. Naked and Afraid makes me angry.
Well, even like getting afraid, it's almost like how is this? It's so. I want to say weird. But it's not weird how he like separate like that's not murder. Like if it was a person, they'd be like, oh, if it was a dog, like
Right.
that thing would be taken off the air. Like
Exactly.
even if it was like we're gonna
Exactly.
starve, I'm like, but you can't kill the dog, starve to death. But because it's a bird, like oh that's cool. Like it's weird how we have that cognitive dissonance. And again, that's what it is. Is everyone most people who aren't vegan have that cognitive dissonance of like I like my cat, I like my hamsters and my rabbits and stuff, but also I'm gonna have steak, whatever. And I have
Right.
have family members who will share like the video of like my favorite one. They'll show a video of a cow that's like playing with a ball and like jumping around the field and like playing with a big ball,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh my god, that's so sweet and cute. I'm like, I know what that video is. That video is on a sanctuary. That cow was on the slaughter line. I know the whole story of that video,
Yep.
and I can find a picture of your dinner from last night and show you are bullshit. It's a cognitive
Yes,
dissonance.
exactly.
I've literally had conversations with people where they're like, well, why is dairy bad? I'm like, I had to explain it. They're like, what are you talking about? Cows had to get milked. I'm like, okay, hold on. What is a
No.
cow? Is it a bird? No, it's a
No.
mammal. Oh, okay. That's because it produces milk, right? Okay. And what do mammals have to do to produce? There you go. We're putting some pieces together. I've literally seen like the light come on in someone's eyes. They're like,
Yes.
oh shit. I'm like, yeah, it's like,
Wow.
it's conditioning, and it's that cognitive dissonance of like
Yeah.
of two different things. Like, of course, Uncle the bird need it. I'm like, but there's like berries and like acorns like right there. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
that just stuff drives me
there you go.
nuts. I'm like, there's no.
I'd be much more impressed if they knew. Yeah. I'd be much more impressed if the people in Naked and Afraid could pick out the right berries and leaves to eat that won't kill them, than if they could, trap a fish. Like, what, high five for you. I'd much rather you already have some kind of cool knowledge to show me than see you murder an animal
Right.
unnecessarily.
Yeah,
Ugh,
it seems like
that
that's the
episode-
easy way
that
out.
show
I'm like,
freaks me out. Right. It
Right.
is.
Bro,
Oh,
just-
you're right.
it's like, I'm gonna murder something because that's easy. Yeah, but having compassion apparently is difficult. Dick. I'm marking this. You dropped an F-bomb. I gotta mark it explicit, so we're just gonna have fun with it.
I know. I'm sorry. It made me angry.
Hey man, it's all right. It's okay. And a little anger. Just get stuff done.
All right. So being vegan has also changed the way I watch cooking shows.
I can't.
I think for some people this is very unvegan of me. The fact that I still watch cooking shows that have, meat and dairy and stuff. I find people's ability to cook amazing meals fascinating. And for the most part, I can, fast forward through little bits that I don't like and just still get the gist of the recipe. But there are certain episodes I just can't watch it all in general. And it's not like I have a lot of vegan cooking show options, guys. There's like one, is it on Netflix or Amazon? And
It's on Amazon.
I'm not going to talk bad about any vegan cooking show because it is. I am all for it. Go, high five. Just wasn't my jam, so it wasn't something I really got into. So like, I just watch regular cooking shows. But if it's like a barbecue episode, there's no point in me watching that. I'm not gonna be able to watch any of it. I can't fast forward through those parts. It's the whole stupid show.
So
If they go to like a farm, I know, I can see your face. I do have like rules in my cooking show watching. David's like, I just don't watch any of it, you non-vegan girl.
it's like you're off the show. I can't do it anymore.
And that's it. I'm
So
fired.
there's two things. So yeah, you mentioned and I want you to finish the part about the farm, but I have my own little interjection. I'm trying to be better, and not cut you off in these episodes. 'Cause I'm like, I always have going. I got an idea, and then it's like train rolls, just steamrolls over the whole thing. But yeah, if they go to the farm, I've seen those too. Yeah.
Well, I watched this called I think it was Bong Appetit, where it was marijuana and cooking, which is I find interesting as well. But and I watched every episode. It was really cool. But on one of them, they went to a dairy farm, and they were talking about I think making cheese or something. And I was like, yeah, no, and just clicked right off of that. So it really is kind of what the subject is about that I'm more drawn to. The cooking show, I guess. No, judge me. Go ahead.
No, I'm not judging. It's not judgment. Not judgment. Okay, so I have two things.
Okay.
So the first thing is
okay.
the first thing is I can remember them because my brain's like having moments today. But so I can't watch them because half of it's like infuriating, kind of like you're saying. I know I said that word. No, I know I said that word weird. Because it's just like, oh cool. It's like what what a lovely plate of death. And then I spend half the time yelling, you could use a flax egg there. I don't know why. Almond milk were just as good. You can supplement butter with any oil, including coconut. I just do this the whole time, and I irritate myself, let alone anyone watching with me. And
I get that.
Yeah, and talking about cooking shows, and I had this problem with most vegan restaurants too, and I've seen most, including the ones in Atlanta.
Okay.
The big problem I have, and this is like we're airing out some grievances in the vegan community here right now, with vegan cooking shows, which to your point, there's really only one.
Right.
And I'm sure there's more. And if there's someone missing, let me know. Send me an email.
Yes, please.
theaveragevegans@gmail.com. It's all too pretty. It's very it's too hip. Not only hippie. It's not like today we're gonna make something out of mushrooms. It's more like, it's just very. It's too happy. Stylized, produced. Even like restaurants. Like the only thing that only restaurant I can.
There's the word.
Right. It's the only restaurant I can think in Atlanta that's not like that for the most part, that feels like an actual just normal restaurant is Cafe Sunflower in Atlanta. That one, it feels like a normal restaurant, just happens to be vegan. Everything else, it's a vegan restaurant, it's all white and raw wood and raw stone. It's very overproduced. It's very like green, and like, I understand like we're vegan, but it's just like. But if I go to like a normal restaurant, it doesn't have. It feels like I'm in a restaurant. This is awesome, right? It's just there's something about like a vegan restaurant that feels like I'm at a vegan restaurant. And if you ever watch a show that makes fun of vegan restaurants, that's what I'm talking about. Like there's do you ever see Grandma's Boy?
I get it.
You ever see Grandma's Boy?
No, I don't think so.
There's a.
Yes.
Yeah, the part where David Spade is playing Shiloh. And everything's like very pretty, and there's bird sounds, and there's like plants growing out of the wall, and he's wearing like a special jacket, and he's like, we have green shots, and it's stereotypical, but it's not wrong, and that drives me nuts. And I'm like, and we have really good restaurants now, like Slutty Vegan and Plant-Based Pizzeria, that kind of break that stereotype, which is great. But just like vegan cooking shows and vegan restaurants, strictly those things tend to feel overproduced, where it's
I totally get that.
super clean. It's sanitary. It's over sanitary. I don't know how else to put it. It's like oh, this is a vegan restaurant. I don't know. It just I don't know why it drives me crazy, but it does because it's easy. Because it's like if you take someone who's an omnivore there, you're like, all right, I promise this will be good. I know this place looks weird, but I promise it'll be delicious.
You have to give that little premise beforehand.
Yeah,
it's gonna look very foo-foo.
Yeah, foo-foo. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. All right. My rant's done, but and speaking of like how like I just can't watch those things. Like a lot of times it can make you like just skip out on watching something or being in watching a show or a movie. There was one movie not too long ago. I want to say not too long ago. It depends on your context, but I think a couple of years where the dog went into a river, and it came out. They were like just throwing the dog into this river to make the scene happen. The dog wasn't like and we can debate like
Oh yes.
Yeah, like should dogs be in movies and this sort of stuff. And there's but it wasn't like the dog was like trained like jump in the water, swim across, you get out, you get the cookie. It wasn't like that. Like they're like all right, be in danger, and just chucking him in. And the dog behind the scenes, The dog was in distress. And like people are like, what the. Yeah, and that was most vegans. Wow, that was new. Most vegans.
That was great.
Right, vegans like what's it? Ghostbusters. Most vegans boycotted that for that reason, and that happens a lot. If you have if it's a movie that's like a circus and there's like elephants, most vegans will tend to boycott that or just sit it out. Like, no, I'm not going to say that. That's exploitation. I'm not going to give my money to that. That tends to happen.
There's a few things like that there's a few forms of entertainment that become kind of not an option anymore.
Right.
Like you just said, circuses you're not going to a circus anymore. It's just not gonna happen. Just like you're not gonna go to a zoo.
Right.
Probably not gonna go to an aquarium. So I mean, that's another way that being vegan kind of changes the way you experience things because it eliminates some forms of entertainment that perhaps you enjoyed before. And that kind of runs for, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, and when you, and it's not, it almost sounds like we're like, this is why it sucks. It's not what we're saying. But the benefit is also it gives you an opportunity to kind of like open up your eyes and find other avenues. For example, if you're someone who likes going to the zoo, you can also go to an animal sanctuary. It's highly likely there's a sanctuary near you. We have 3 in Georgia. Yeah, we have 3 major ones in Georgia.
Yeah.
There's always some animal sanctuary near you. They take in farmed animals and and abandoned pigs and stuff, and llamas and stuff like that. So, you can go to a farm sanctuary, an animal sanctuary, and actually get closer to than you would if you were just looking at some poor animal in a cage behind glass.
And you can even make it a volunteer experience where you can contribute to this farm sanctuary. So it's not just I bought a ticket to go look at animals in cages. I get to go, help this farm do better with these rescued animals. So I think that's a great idea. And we're going to do that, aren't we, David?
Yeah, man. You want to go now? I can pause. We can go. We can make the plans roll. All right, cool. All right. This is episode 0.5. We'll do the second part 2 later. No.
Oh gosh. So other forms of entertainment that being vegan kind of changes. So one that I do that you're not super into is I love to go thrifting. So I thrift clothes. I don't normally buy clothing firsthand, from an actual store.
First off, don't be throwing shade.
David?
Don't be throwing shade. All right.
Wish you guys could see.
Here's the thing. And we got back. I know this is off topic again. I derailed. David derailed the whole thing. It's not that I don't like thrifting. It's that I tell you all the time. Men's clothes are kind of boring. There's not much we can do. We got jeans, we got pants and shorts, and then it's the fabric is different, and we got t-shirts and polos and button shirts, and then it's just a pattern. you guys have all kinds of cool like stuff and shoes and jackets and shirts and blouses and pants and half pants and quarter pants and one pant with like the leg is long on one side and short on the other. They call them shorts and or ports. Oh my God, I'm gonna invent ports.
Nope.
It's half pant, half short. And you know, you have all these options, and we don't have these options. So like thrifting is like, I'm gonna go look at the toys people bring, because it's like it's not, you know, it's not as interesting for me because it's like you guys have all kinds of cool. I went thrifting with you. It's like we found all kinds of cool stuff
besides clothes. You did.
Yeah.
So my last birthday in February, before the whole world ended, I think it was like the last time our whole group was together. We went thrifting at Goodwill for my birthday. I had everybody pick out clothes for me so that I could try them on and then buy a bunch of them. And they're all still in my wardrobe to this day. But so I love to thrift because I love the sustainability of it. What?
Oh my God! Instead, I'm sorry. I was like pretty woman. I was like, nope. Thrifty woman. Coming. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Man. Okay. All right.
That's my nickname.
I got excited. Thrifty woman. Coming down the street.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be stuck in my head. I'm gonna kick your butt for that one. I really am. No, I as a vegan, I feel like I'm more inclined to thrift. I feel like I thrift more now because I love the, like, you know, buying. You know, I don't buy fast fashion. I buy used. I like that. I like the sustainability of it. It just makes me feel better. But you do have to be very conscious of like the materials that you're buying. You know, obviously I'm not buying leather or cashmere or fur jackets or silk or anything like that. So it does change the way that I shop when I thrift, in that I'm, you know, looking for, is there like a little bit of a leather strap added to something, which that happens frequently. So it does change it a little bit, but I also think it makes the experience better for me because I feel like I'm doing something great for the environment when I go and thrift for 2 hours in a Goodwill, which, oh man, do I miss that.
Oh yeah.
I really need this nasty virus to go away so I can spend a whole day thrifting. I miss those days.
What effect? I mean, it affects shopping in general. Like I bought a new pillow, and it was like I had to make sure it was down alternative, because they have feather pillows still, obviously. So you know that's
right.
You know, and I know it actually isn't on the list, but it's something that kind of I thought of just now that kind of, you know, I throw stuff out in the list that we don't talk about. Gotta juke and jive.
Let's do it.
I deal with that kind of when usually if I have to go out of town for like work or visit family or something, I do Airbnb because I don't be around people, so I take my place. And I usually message them ahead of time to make sure there's no feather pillows, no down blankets, stuff that being used. And if that's what they have, I'll tell them to put it away, and I'll bring my own. So yeah,
that is such a smart tip.
Yeah. So yeah,
I didn't even think of that when we were in our Airbnb this summer. Genius. Look at David, so smart.
Hey man.
But again, that's the way that being vegan changes the way you experience an Airbnb, and that's a positive way. It's not like it hinders you in any way. It just makes it a better experience. All right, so let's talk about celebrities or entertainment people that make fun of vegans. I put this section in here because I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of them, and almost all of them are true crime, and almost all of them have made fun of vegans at some point. I swear, even my absolute favorite podcasts have made fun of vegans at some point. And I know that there are people that stop listening when they do that, and they now are not fans anymore. And I absolutely respect that. I still listen.
See, I had that problem with Joe Rogan.
Tweet to them. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Oh, I hate him so much now.
Yeah, I can't stand his. I don't like the way he debate. He argues anyway. He'll find some obscure fact or some like weird thing and like harp on it. I'm like, okay, you kind of got a point, but you know the fact you're using is like 50 years old, and like how I'm gonna battle that? It's weird. And he was just like, yeah, well, you know, they did a study, you know, like 20 years ago with it. I'm like, dude, all right, I can't handle this guy anymore. And he will go after a vegan hardcore. I'm like, I can't even deal with this guy anymore. Everyone loves him, but I can't do it anymore.
Right. Right. So like loved, Fear Factor back in the day. Loved the UFC. Can't listen to him anymore. Don't want to talk. Don't want to hear him talk. So it can go either way. I can hear a celebrity or, a podcast person insulting vegans and not want to listen to them anymore. Or it could be the opposite way, where if I find out that there's a celebrity that is vegan and truly vegan, not the fake just for publicity, hey, look at me kind of crap. When they're truly vegan, I sometimes pay a little bit more attention to them. So like, I don't know how to say his first name. River Phoenix's brother, Chuck.
Joaquin?
Yes.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
Thank you. For some reason, my brain was switching the word around. He's obviously one of the biggest animal activists, and I was never a fan of him as an actor, but once I saw how dedicated he is to the vegan world and animals, I like him a little bit more now.
Yeah, he went.
I was never a fan because I'm just mad that River's not here anymore.
Didn't he go? He went. He literally went from the Oscars over to a protest, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It was someone. Yeah, I think the Oscars, some award show.
I think it was like immediately.
Yeah, he was there like in his like tux from the show. He was like there with the protesting. Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, and I.
So like being vegan makes me pay attention to him more.
Yeah, and I will straight up like shun a celebrity for like becoming an ex-vegan. Like, all right, you're dead to me now.
Oh yes.
Because it detracts from the whole like, well, they stopped being it. Like, yeah, but they're also shit people. Like Miley Cyrus. I'm calling people out today, man.
Miley Cyrus. I was just about to say it.
Joe Rogan, Miley Cyrus, I'm calling you out. What's up?
What you gonna do about it?
Right? Because if you're listening, hi. Share us.
I would pass out.
Share with your friends and family. Yeah, but it's like,
I just recently stopped being vegan.
Yeah, because she needs the omegas from fish, and everyone's like, you can get it from plants, and also just take a supplement. Like that's why. Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's brain fog. I'm like, I'm not shaming anybody for experimenting with extracurricular activities, but that might have been probably your problem too.
Perhaps.
Like you literally started a restaurant where like you started a weed restaurant. I have a feeling like your cloudiness wasn't because you weren't getting enough omega.
Let me just say, a vegan weed smoking restaurant. Hello, sounds amazing. Now that I know it's run by a former vegan, no, yeah. Go away.
Nah.
Just lost.
Well, not even like that degree. Even like influencers like John Venus. You know what his whole deal was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he quit. He claimed that someone in his family was having like health issues and being deficient from on a vegan diet. So they were like, well, so he stopped and he was like, he actually was looking. He went hunting and shit like that, and now he's back. And it's like, all right, man, what happened? Yeah, he's like, I'm back on it again. I had a lapse in judgment or some BS. And everyone's like, no. You had this massive following. You jumped on a bandwagon. You had this massive following, and then you jumped off of it, and you lost a bunch of followers and probably a bunch of money, and you went, and now you're back on it. Get the hell out of here.
I didn't know he was back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm super annoyed right now.
Yeah, he's back. If you get a chance, go to, I think it's YouTube. He has a YouTube.
My mouth is hanging open.
Yeah, I watch Hinch Herbivore did a whole thing on him. Yeah. Yeah, no. If
that makes me angry too.
It's a unpopular vegan opinion. Like, not everyone can be vegan for different reasons. You have a health issue. You're Inuit in in the North at the North Pole or whatever, and you can't. I get it. Not everyone can. If you have some sort of eating disorder where going to a diet like that could cause a lot of problems, I'm not going to debate that's a mental health issue too. So I'm not going to have a debate about it. But if you're like, I need omegas, I'm like, whatever. You were a bodybuilder and now you're off of it because
for years. Right.
It's just, and it's a ploy.
Oh, I can't.
That's things like, it's, again, it's one thing if it's a health issue, it's legitimate, you're, there's, you're having problems processing a mineral that can be derived from an animal, but also derived from plants, and the plant we have maybe. We can go on about possible health issues, also mental health issues that can, make it difficult. That's another discussion. But if it's just like, I'm like, all right, then I don't want to get out of here. Okay,
Yeah,
I
and
need to
that
go lay
like
down.
that affects the way that affects the way that you experience like social media too,
Yeah. Oh, for
because
sure.
now you don't want to see anything about those people, right? So you have to eliminate that. I have to like spend so much time kind of curating my social media feed so that I don't see things I don't want to see. Like people that hunt, I make sure that I don't see their content anymore, like
Right.
family members or whatever. Um, I just have to spend so much time making sure that social is, as stress free as it possibly can be, which I know is a very strange sentence. But when it comes to vegan things, I really do make sure that it's filled with plant loving people, and I block as many
You
uh, non vegan people as possible, or content at least in general. So,
I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. You ever pull a dick
oh
move and
gosh.
like report hunting stuff to the social media platforms?
No, I'm apparently you do
I do,
though.
like, report graphic violence. Nothing ever happens, like, because it's like, because they don't care. They're like, oh, that's cool. It's just like 4 deer's been shot in the head. That's cool. We're not worried about that. Like, but I just, it's like, yeah, it's just like, I feel better. You're not gonna think about it. Not doing anything about it, but at least I tried. I can't stop them from
I
doing
like
it,
your
but
pettiness.
it's petty, but also it's kind of like I need to do it
I
for the
love it.
deer. I need to do it for the deer that got shot or whatever. Like, all right, I gotta do
I love
something,
it.
because if I get one taken down, someone doesn't see it and glorify it, then maybe I'll win one person over for not going down that road. Again, it's petty, but I mean,
I
again,
love
I
you
don't
for
have.
that.
What else am I gonna do?
No. No, I like that. I think that that makes sense. When it comes to social, I also make sure that I am following friends that I know are kind of a little more open to the vegan lifestyle. I make sure that their stuff is kind of front and center because I share things with people all the time.
Mm.
Like I am constantly sharing articles with people that I think they would be interesting to. So I also like it. Being vegan changes the way that I like who I interact with on social as well. Like my little sister, she is vegetarian, so like I am super excited that now I can kind of show her these podcast episodes and maybe bring her to the vegan side. She's so close, so
Come,
close.
we have vegan cookies.
So close. I'm telling you. If you're
Can we talk to her? I'll pull her over.
listening, Brittany,
I'll
you
convince
can
her.
do it. I know you would. You have magical powers.
Wow,
Okay,
magic.
so another way that being vegan kind of changes the way you experience things, um, when it comes to like being out in nature, and now this may sound super uber vegan to some people, but this is very true. I have always been a hiker since like before I went vegan to after. I love to hike mountains and long paths. It's just kind of, I guess, because I grew up next to the beach. I really love mountains. I'm the opposite. I went the opposite way. But since going vegan, the way that I interact with nature is different. I don't go off the kind of beaten path. I don't try to, make my own path or climb up this way to see what's up there. I have before I went vegan, I would go with people and they would just kind of climb up things and go adventure and try to see what they could find. I stay on the same path that
Yeah.
is everyone walks on. And because I don't want to disturb any living being's habitat. There could be some furry creatures living in those areas I'm trampling on. There's for sure a bunch of insects and little creatures just trying to live, and I just find it fucked up to go trampling around in areas that I don't need to. There's already a freaking path in front of me. Why I gotta go climbing on things and disrupting their little worlds? I hate that.
Well, there's the I go trail running every Saturday, and I've seen you pictures of like the trail I run on. It gets in the woods, and there's a few areas that are literally you have to run or walk like heel to toe. The trail is so thin, and you could just run by and you kind of like I literally take my headphones off and like trying to like kind of like half jog like really tight because I'm afraid of like I might disturb a squirrel or a hamster. Hamsters in the woods? Oh my god, chipmunk.
Right.
Wow.
That would be so
Oh my
cool
god,
if a hamster just popped out.
God, little teddy bear hamster. I had hamsters growing up. I love hamsters. But I'm always afraid I'm gonna disturb like a snake or something. Just like I don't want to bother you. I know, man. I'm in your house. Just walking through. We're
Right.
cool. Yeah, and it's just I'm so weird about making sure, and I kind of watch the ground and like make sure like there's been a couple of times I've been on a run in that trail and I've like there's a turtle like in the middle of the like the path.
Yes.
And then I freak out. I'm like, okay, I gotta like I don't want to pick him up because I don't want to hurt him. So like I'll get like I'm afraid like I'm always I don't know it's weird. I'm afraid like if I touch him with like my hands, my skin, like I'll put something on him and hurt it and like the shell will deteriorate.
Smell.
I just bacteria. So I always got like fine leaves to like sandwich and like move it. Almost like pot holders for a turtle and move him. So I'm like I don't want to hurt you, Miss Turtle. Looks like you're going this direction. I'm gonna help you the rest of the way. Kind of thing about it. And it's kind of like, and it's part of the points we have of like you go out of your way to like help a worm and insects and stuff like this. So there's two things. So one, if you ever come across like a turtle or any type of animal that's like slow moving or like making its way somewhere, if you can understand its trajectory, like it's crossing the road or crossing a path, complete that path. Because it's likely going to a food source or water that it knows where it is. Some people will move them like back where they were. Like, oh, you were out in the middle of the road. Let's move you back over here. They're gonna go back out in the road or the walkway because they're literally trying to go somewhere. It's their house. They know where the food is, so they're going that direction. So like if I'm in a path and there's a turtle halfway through wherever the turtle's facing, I kind of complete that journey. Hope and likelihood like that they know where they're going, in this direction they mean to be going. But no, I friends with me we're weird all the time. Like I literally like after it rains and there's worms and stuff out. I'm like, damn it! I'm walking around picking up worms, throwing them back in the grass and stuff. What are you doing? I'm like, this worm is gonna like it's a worm. I'm like, yeah, it's a worm, but why does it have to dry out on the sidewalk and get squished on? Like. Well, it's like the oh my god, I need sleep. It's like the starfish parable. You've heard the starfish parable?
No.
So the starfish parable is there's this old man walking down the beach and kind of turns a corner around some rocks and he sees this beach that's littered with starfish. Right, they're all washed up, up on the beach and they're just littered, and there's this young kid down there picking them up and just winging starfish into the ocean. It's like, what's this guy doing? He kind of makes his way over to the guy and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, all these starfish washed up on the beach and I'm putting them back in the ocean. It's like there's got to be like 300 starfish washed up on this ocean. There's no way you can help them all. The guy reaches down, picks up a starfish, puts it back in the ocean and goes, help that one.
You're trying to make me cry.
No, let's do it.
Don't make me cry.
So I always think about like that. I kind of you can some kind of a see. People would say I'm a dick for reporting like a hunting thing, but if I report it, it gets taken off. One person's going to go, that looks like fun, and they don't go hunt, and maybe I saved a deer, But every day every meal that you don't eat an animal product, you're saving someone's life. Can you save every farmed animal? No, you're just one person, But was it mini drops make up a rainstorm or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like always like, we'll save that one. You switch from dairy to an almond milk or soy milk. Did you making that switch save all the dairy cows and all the calves that get pulled away from the mother? No. But you reduce that consumption, you reduce that demand just by one person. And that had ripple effect of somebody's going to get dairy milk and they see you walk over and grab soy, they're like, maybe I'll try some soy milk this month. It can make that small steps can actually lead to bigger steps because, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, right? So if you make one step, everyone else takes a step, you're making thousands and thousands and millions of steps together.
And that worm example you just had, I have a real life where that made a bigger step. So when I see the worms flip their little bodies onto the concrete and I know they're going to die, I flip them back over just like you do.
Well,
And my 15, almost 6-year-old daughter, she now does the same thing. So she's not vegan. I would say she's more vegetarian, like closer to that than anything else.
Yeah.
But she saves the worms.
Save the worms.
It's because she saves the worms because she has seen that I do the same thing. And so like that little change in the way that I experience nature also was a change for my daughter. So that's a big deal to me.
Absolutely. And you can't save all the worms, but you save that worm.
No.
That's important.
That's right.
Was it?
Also, it's like a horrible way to watch them die.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's awful. I can't. I wouldn't even go outside if that's what I had to experience every time. I have to save them.
There's a saying that's like if you teach a child to respect life, it does good for both the child and the animal or something like that. I can't remember. It's a really good. I can look it up because it's a really good saying. Essentially, like there's no negative in that whatsoever.
Right.
It's good for you as like just being a good person. It's also good for the animal that you're helping because it's not dead essentially.
I love how we're so like sweet, and then you're like, now it's not like dead.
I ran out of words.
There you go, segmented.
I ran out of words. I hit my quota.
Oh, I love it.
And some listeners are like, I wish he would hit his quota and stop talking so much, but.
No, they love you. So another way that being vegan affects the way you experience things has to do with something we don't really get to experience right now. And that is social events, hanging out with your friends. So we'll pretend like it's not COVID times. We'll talk about how being vegan changes your social events. You have to do a lot of planning ahead. So I talk a little bit about, like spontaneity. I talk about this with my husband a lot, where he would like to just like go do something, let's go out to dinner real quick, like things like that, again, before COVID time. And I can't just go.
Yeah.
Like I have to plan ahead. We have to know where we're going. I have to make sure that there's options for me. Like there's not as much spontaneity in my life. And that includes kind of social events with my friends too. Like I need to be able to plan. Do I need to bring a snack?
It's like, okay, is the only option fruit and French fries?
Because I can't do that.
Well, I mean, I guess the good thing is like if you're like me, I kind of get tired of having to figure things out. So it's like, cool. There's only 6 places I can go. So let's roll the dice and whatever number it lands on, that's what I'm going to go to because there's only 6 places, especially like my area. There's like only a handful of places I can actually go to.
Right.
But and talking about friends, it can also kind of let you know who your friends are. Like the ones who are like, because like I've had people who just like, would just, okay, hey, everybody, let's go to this place. I'm like, dude,
Right.
like, let's go to Wild Wings. I'm like, dude, like I'm eating fries and a beer. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I got nothing. And it's just, and there's people who are like, hey, where can you go? Or like, well, let's find some places because he's vegan. So and that's like, okay, we good. We friends.
Right.
We friends. But you learn people who are just kind of like, and it's also very telling of people's personality when they actually are inclusive and understanding of those in the group. Because even somebody have an allergy
you can kind
too.
of tell. You can tell if you have a good boss that way too.
Yeah.
I've had a few bosses since going vegan, And you can tell if they're going to make an effort during, company, potlucks or whatever, or when they, cater lunch, are they going to include me? Because, that being vegan changes those lunch events, and it'll tell you if you have a good boss, if they give a crap whether you're going to eat or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That
I
are
like
like
that.
I've got you a vegan option. Oh, that's cool. It's a tuna fish sandwich. Oh, mother. That's happened to me before. I've
Wow.
had that
Has
like
that happened
yeah,
to
happened
you?
before. I was at. I'm probably. No, they won't hear this. I was actually at a business thing for work, obviously. Um, and you ever say about say something stupid, you realize you say something stupid, you just say it anyway, because why not? That's what I just did.
Go for it.
Business thing for work. And it was at the Mayo Clinic. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Mayo Clinic. It wasn't Mayo Clinic. It was someone else. It wasn't Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic did something similar to me though. Actually, Mayo Clinic was a whole other thing. I'll tell that story too, real quick. But hold on. So this one was another client place. We had to go up like to New Jersey, I think, and they were like, "Well, anybody have my dietary needs?" Like, yeah, I don't eat meat, vegan. Like, oh, okay, cool. We'll order you, a non-meat one, whatever. However they put it, they put it a really weird way. And they're like, "Here's yours." Opened it up. I was like, "What is this?" Like, this is tuna. It's tuna fish sandwich. And I was like, I can't eat this. And they're like, "Well, it's not meat." And I literally looked at them. I was like, "What plant do fish grow on?"
What is it?
And they went, "What?" I was like, "What plant do fish grow on?" I started laughing. They're like, "Oh, that's a good point." I'm like, "That's cool." And because I'm so used to it, I had like a meal replacement bar in my pocket. I was like, I knew it because
always have one.
they were like, "Don't worry about lunches. We'll get lunch for y'all tomorrow." I was like, "Man, y'all gonna mess this up."
Sure.
Sure enough. And I went to another one. This was in Minnesota with a Mayo Clinic. And I don't know if you've ever been to the Mayo Clinic up in Minnesota, but like the whole town there is like it's all employees. The Mayo Clinic, they're all like super into it. We went to an Italian restaurant, and I was like, there's nothing on the menu, like nothing. Listen to the menu. And I was like, okay, vegan here, and it's the Mayo Clinic of all places. In fact, like one of their chief, their chief cardiologist is vegan actually. So it was really weird, and they had to have the chef with a big white hat come out and talk to me. And he was like, "So I hear you're vegan." I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, I don't know what to do." I'm like, I literally was like, "Do you have?" It's like, "Is your pot?" Is there, I said, I literally like, I'm like, look at this guy who went to school for this. And I'm like, "Is there egg in your pasta?" He's like, "There's in this one, but like in these, like he listed the ones that don't." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let's do like penne pasta." I think is what it was. Let's do that. I said that one. Do you have marinara sauce? Yeah. Okay. Is there dairy or cheese in it? No, it's just traditional marinara. I was like, okay. Do you have vegetables like mushrooms, zucchini, and carrots? He was like, yeah, we have all that stuff. I was like, okay. Saute that in some olive oil. Put that in the marinara sauce. Let simmer in that for a bit. Put in the pasta. I just created a $12 meal for you to put on your menu that a vegan eat. That's it. That's all I need.
Welcome.
And the thing is, he came out. I had this massive plate because it's cheap to make. Like pasta sauce, pasta, and vegetables. It's like that's what drives me nuts about vegan like food. It's like as much as everyone else's, but I'm like it costs you like a third to make this stuff. But I came with this massive pasta bowl, huge, like and easy for like two, three people, and everyone was like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "Yeah, off menu, bitches. What's up?" Yeah,
Leftovers.
but and it's I don't know what we're talking about. I had to go into the stores. But it
about social events,
right, and bosses and stuff like that.
It changes how you eat lunch with your coworkers.
It changes anything social. It does change, and it lets you know who like your friends are, your real coworkers are. But it also kind of teaches you how to be flexible and kind of I think it also helps you kind of grow as a person, how to be flexible and understanding and kind of and deal with that place. But also, it can help it. I've found that it helps you try things you wouldn't have tried before or go places you wouldn't have gone before. Like Ethiopian food.
Places you might avoid, but you're suddenly forced to go to. Yeah.
Or just like, well, there's nothing around, but...
And you make, vegan... You make your own vegan recipes in the middle of an Italian restaurant if you're David.
Exactly. Well, even like, I never would have tried Ethiopian food if I wasn't vegan.
Okay.
You ever had Ethiopian food?
No.
It's super good. It's a bunch of different colored goops, but it's super good.
This is a horrible way of putting it.
Every single person who
Goop is
listens to
a
this,
horrible word.
every single person who's listened to this who has had Ethiopian food would tell you, yeah, it's a bunch of goops. It's good, like it's super good, and like it's flavorful, it's spicy, it's awesome, and they have this bread that's all like spongy and it's delicious, and you don't eat with a fork, you eat with the bread. It's really good. All right.
Yes, I've seen that.
When COVID is done, you and I we're going to an Ethiopian restaurant. There's some really good ones in Atlanta.
It's like never.
Huh? It'll be fine. As well, this is the whole thing. We'll be good. But or maybe we'll order it and we'll bring it in. We'll eat at your house or something. Ethiopian food. How about
There
that?
you go.
But it's like super tasty, delicious goops. But they're just like because it's supposed to be made where you can like soak it up and pick it up with this bread. But it's really good. The point is,
Right, you never would have tried that.
Never tried it.
You weren't vegan.
Right? Because I have this little I have Happy Cow and I'm like, okay, well, roll the dice. Why not?
Right.
And I'm like, this is super delicious. Yeah.
So one other thing. So I talked a little bit about how spontaneity is like not always possible. So I have a little example. I am the kind of woman that has always dreamt about my spouse coming to me and being like, I planned a whole trip and it's a surprise and I'm taking you away. That is like a dream of mine. I'm girly sometimes. What?
How long have you been married?
Well,
Did this have happened before? Or?
20 years. He's never surprised me because we like to plan things. He knows I
send him a text. Hold on.
If he just surprised me, I'm a planner, so he knows not to just do that. I'm not big with surprise. I would love this if I was able to then be like, okay, you have a few hours to plan so you can figure out where you can eat because it changes things, right? I can't just go somewhere and hope there's something to eat.
I will tell you.
So like if we were going to there's maybe he surprised me with a trip to see family in upstate New York. Where he's from. Guess what? The grocery store is like 20 freaking minutes away. There's one vegan option anywhere near where they live. So like I would need to know ahead of time so that I could plan. So there's kind of a elimination of that spontaneity sometimes.
So this is like fly on the wall for listeners, but a good place in the area to go, and I know you know this already, so I don't know what I'm telling you. To kind of quote spontaneously go for like a weekend trip or whatever you want to do, that is Asheville.
I know, we did go there.
Great place to go.
That was the one place we went.
Tons of places to eat. A lot of cool places. The tea house there. Oh my god. But anyway, I can talk on about that.
I love Asheville.
Asheville's really good.
So I think our last little thing, how being vegan changes the way you experience things, is centered around kind of your health. And this is David's little tip here.
Yeah. And this is, I think this really started. I noticed this with baby vegans. Even you started doing this too, where like you. This is a Cabbage Patch. This is a Cabbage Patch.
I'm sorry.
I,
so
I always see like baby vegans like Cabbage Patch dolls. They come out with a little Cabbage Patch and like, and you gotta like train them. You're like no. That D3 is from wool. You gotta get the plant-based D3. You learn little soy milk bottles anyway. But you typically when you and it's not true for everybody. Obviously, there's always exceptions to every rule, but you tend to kind of open your eyes about your own health and well-being. So you tend to because you're aware of what you're eating and what you're no longer consuming, you become aware of the craziness that you put in your body. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, all I ate was cake for 2 weeks. That probably wasn't a good idea. Because you weren't thinking about it. You're like, cake is delicious. We're like, oh, there's egg in this and there's dairy in this and that's bad for me. What else have I been doing that's not good? And usually when you start going plant-based and going towards a vegan lifestyle, you tend to people will usually start adding in more exercise and just even if it's just like meditation, anything that's mental or physical health, you start being more aware of it. You're like, I don't get enough sunlight. You start going out walking more and just it's sometimes it's an unconscious. Maybe you dream about it and it's unconscious, or it could be subconscious. You're not really thinking about it. It could be both. Can anybody else tell I've only got like 4 hours of sleep? Probably less than that at this point.
I like sleep deprived, David.
Right, and fun, right? Just random stuff makes no sense.
Yeah,
But you tend to be a little more, you tend to be more aware of your own health and well-being, whether it be physical or mental. So you're aware of what you're putting in your body because you're trying to avoid turning your body into a graveyard. And then you're like, wow, that wasn't very good what I was doing. I should be eating more fruits and vegetables. You start feeling a little better. It makes you want to go outside more, makes you want to go for walks, runs, go to the gym, meditate. You do things a little more healthy. It's just like becoming more health aware, I think, is a natural progression when you start moving towards a plant-based diet. And the deeper you go, the more you kind of open yourself up to experiencing more things on a healthful side.
Yeah, like every kind of avenue of health. Like you were saying, since being vegan, I am more into like meditation and, a gratitude journal so that my mental health is in check. I'm more conscious of, have I walked around today since I work a desk job? Like I think about those things that I maybe never thought of as specifically before I went vegan. So it does change the way you kind of handle your health, which is a great side effect.
Yeah.
It's a great thing about being vegan. This is like one of the more positive ones we've talked about today. It just makes you kind of more conscious, because if you're already feeding yourself good food, why would you want to ruin it with everything else?
Right.
Like you might as well make it a package.
Yeah, just kind
right?
of exactly.
It just makes more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and you were doing a thing. Okay, so it's like you're about to breathe. Something's happening. But it's like, I can't tell if like, okay, you're about to robot. You gonna internet going weird, or are you about to one thing I think we also tend to one thing that kind of becomes different is you become kind of tribal. Like you really, it's like you start to kind of isolate and echo chamber yourself. Social media, you follow only vegan Facebook groups and Instagram pages, and you're watching reading veg news, because you're trying to kind of block out some of the crazy negativity that comes from the non-plant-based lifestyle. And you also, since you're part of a niche group, it's niche. Is it niche or niche? I've been told I say it wrong.
Niche.
Niche group. It's niche. Part of a niche group, you also become very protective of that group. So we do.
Absolutely.
So I think one thing that becomes to change the experience of, you definitely kind of have this small group, and it's almost like a tribe that's kind of you walk with and follows you around. They kind of, you protect each other because you're trying to protect the planet and yourselves and the animals and everything else.
You kind of get a little bit more attached to people if you find out they're vegan too. So like the way you interact with people that you encounter, that definitely changes when you go vegan. Because if I am in Whole Foods and I see someone picking up vegan food, I'm like, how can I make this person my friend? Like, can I talk to them without being creepy? Because like, I just want to have all the little vegan buddies I can have. So yeah, I definitely see that, how that changes once you kind of get into this life. You just want to meet all the people the same way as you.
Well,
which makes sense. I mean,
oh, of course. Again, it's and again, we're humans are pack animals. We like kind of being with our own like little group of people. Whether or not it's like we do that with sports. Like, this is my team. You talk bad about my team, we're all gonna kick your ass, and you're like, this is my team. We're team vegan. You talk about us, well, we'll show you pictures of bodybuilders who only be, like I have one of the guys I work with, his daughter, so he and I were, he's not vegan, but he and I were like having some weird back and forth, and he like brought up Veganase. I think I was like, how about having a sandwich at lunch? He brought up Veganase, and he said something Veganase. I was like, and he said it's in his fridge. I was like, huh.
What?
And he's like, yeah. He mentioned that that's what his daughter uses, and his daughter was an intern. I was like, oh, hey, friend, you got a second? So it's Dish. I was like, I've been vegan for like 8 years. If you got questions, I'll be your guru.
Yes, yes.
But
I
yeah.
had a job like a few years ago, and I was the only vegan in this business. There was like 40 employees, and the only vegan. And my boss came to me one day and he was like, "We're hiring someone new. She starts next week and she's vegan as well." I literally was like, "I'm gonna cry."
We're gonna be friends.
Cry. I was like, "Holy crap! There's another one."
You got True Crime too? Everybody book club?
We instantly became friends. I tried to get her to start a podcast with me. She wouldn't do it. I know. Listen. This was when you had a podcast with someone else. So you were otherwise busy. So,
No, that's cool. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Just talk. Whatever.
we instantly became buddies, and she was my favorite coworker. She's no longer vegan. If you're listening, Kim, I'm very disappointed.
Traitor.
I know, right?
Yeah, there's actually.
I think we covered a lot of things today.
The only vegan on my team at work is he left last week, so I'm left.
Oh no.
Yeah. He was all right, man. Just hold the fort and try to represent. Like, all right, try.
Oh no.
Now that everyone's dealt with an hour of my ramblings and an hour of your actual coherent talking,
Listen,
I don't know.
We're adorable together. That's why people listen. We're adorable.
Totes adorbs. But
yeah, so we covered a lot of ways that being vegan changes the way you experience things. But like we said in the beginning, I'm really curious what areas being vegan has changed for you. Like, I really want to hear from other people, because I'm sure there's many different avenues that we did not cover today that are altered when you become vegan. So I'm curious. Please let us know. Email us, message us. You can find us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure to leave us a review and recommend us to your friends, family, coworkers, strangers, the delivery driver. Of course, follow us on Instagram at The Average Vegans, or email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com. Show notes, links, and more can be found at theaveragevegans.com. We'd love to hear from you, your vegan story, your favorite vegan treats, your episodes, suggestions, whatever. So, get with us, email us, message us, all that stuff. Yeah, we're done. That's it. This week's over.
Yay! Bye. We'll see y'all next week. We're talking about other vegan stuff.
Such a dork. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I'll see y'all later.